Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Or afternoon.
Oh, hello.
Or evening. You know, whenever you may find yourself tuning in to Graffiti Park Radio. We're going to have a fun episode. We've been having a good time here. We've been having a good time hanging out. This is our first episode where it's dark out. Shout out to daylight savings or not if you're not into that.
Yay, seasonal depression. That's fantastic.
Oh, here we are.
So to combat that.
It's cold.
It's cold. Yeah, it's chilly out. First episode in a hoodie also, which is weird because the last one was in October. So
yeah, but it was still like 100 degrees.
It was actually
Las Vegas, Nevada. Right. Anyhow, you got the dance here.
Hey-o.
And Miss Anika.
Hi.
And today we are welcoming a very special guest, Miss Becca.
Oh, hello.
How you doing?
I am well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How do you, for the guests, how do you pronounce your art name?
I am Becca Goodman, and my art name is Bagecka. That's how a chicken says my name, Bok Bok Bagecka.
Good.
You can also call me Becca.
Becca! We just had to get going with that, and I thought that was an appropriate way to kick things off. We're going to start off with a new segment, Graffiti Park Radio. We're calling this Rapid Fire Question Minute. I was going to say hour, but it's not an hour.
We do not have time for that.
I also, for the record, got banned from tongue twisters from my team prior to this episode, so...
I think I spearheaded that, and I apologize.
But hey, I'm still happy to be here. All right. Favorite canvas type? Wall, normal canvas, or unique canvas, like shoes, purse?
Something weird.
Something weird.
Like a bowling pin.
Bowling pin.
Gotta paint a
Do you
bowling
have a
pin,
favorite weird canvas that you've done?
No. I have commitment issues. No.
Great
I like
answer.
it. All right. Favorite marker brand? You got Posca's, Molotov, or Montana?
Ooh, what am I doing? Probably 9 times out of 10 a Posca.
Okay.
But it depends.
On what?
What surface area?
Heard.
Oh, okay. Ooh, that makes sense.
Nice
I'm
answer.
right.
What if you're doing like a brick wall?
Definitely not my Poscas.
Ooh, is that like a tip situation?
It is.
Heard that.
All right.
All right.
Ladies, holding it down today.
Last one. Unless Anika wants to interject.
I'll interject.
Okay.
Speaking of ladies, I
What's up?
like that this is the first time we are having a lady sit down with
Woo-hoo!
us today for Graffiti Park Radio. I wanted to ask you, because I know I had to get into the zone. I said, you know what? I'm on this female empowerment trip, which I always am. Let me play my female playlist with all my girl power rock. What song, what type of music gets you in the zone?
9 times out of 10, I'm listening to video game chill hop remix music.
Yes.
Life's kind of stressful. I just need to zone out, man, and be 12 again. But with a cool beat.
I think that's
usually
where we're at. Okay.
Always
I think that's where we're at with music
now,
nowadays.
traffic here, no, that is going to be like 90s gangster rap.
Absolutely.
Like-
because it's traffic's fun here.
Yeah.
Okay. it's a great time, actually. All right, last set of questions, rapid fire. 3 words to describe Graffiti Park.
Colorful, fun, helpful.
Ooh.
Great. I
There
like
we
that.
go. Okay. It's our new segment brought to you by Graffiti Park Radio to kick things off. Well, Becca, we appreciate your time last minute coming on, hanging out with us. I guess start us off. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I do here art in Las Vegas. I've done a lot of stuff with you guys. I think I wrote that. I have 10 murals with you guys
Wow.
that are
Nice.
standalone. And so that's not just the projects there, but I do a lot of like live painting downtown, do a lot of stuff with Clark County. I just had a workshop yesterday. So doing a lot of art. I do art. I am a working artist. That's pretty much what I do. And that's usually how I define it. Like, I'm a working artist. A lot of artists have other jobs, but at this point, art is my job.
Nice.
I teach art. I am always doing art in some capacity.
There's a lot of layers I want to unpack in that answer. It's like the best answer we've gotten usually.
It's like a
They're just
lasagna.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah, and the
what-
more layers, the better. Honestly.
Hey,
Get that ricotta in there.
I can't lie to you. I'm not a cheeser, but I will ask. What inspired that lasagna for you? What inspired that little spark to do a little bit of everything in art?
Money.
Ooh, cheese. I like it.
That would be the cheese on that lasagna.
Nice.
No,
Okay.
it does. It I hate to say that, because being a working artist, that you got to separate like the art that you're doing to sell versus like process art I'm doing that I don't show any of y'all. You'll never see that art. That art's for me. But like the layers with why I'm in so many different pies is just to be on the scene. Like you have to know a lot of people like in town to be in shows and just stuff like that. So meet a lot of people, show up to events, just do the thing.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah.
I like that.
Be open.
Wow. Do you have a favorite? Like you've mentioned to that point that you're in all these different facets and different things. Do you have a favorite one that you like pursuing?
No, I have commitment issues. No,
We're doubling down on those.
not at all. No, I haven't met a medium I didn't like yet. Like
Ooh.
how I really got into art and decided that that was something that I wasn't like the artist growing up. Like I didn't be an artist until I was an adult, and I took a sculpture class. And that's what really got me into it, because that was, I don't know, that's what really got me into it and made me be like, hey, maybe I'm kind of good at this.
And when was that and where was that?
That was a long, long ago, back in that Texas we were talking about. That was, I worked at a college, this college at TVCC for like 10 years.
Okay.
Ooh.
And when you work at a college, you can audit classes. And so I took a lot of art classes. And I took art classes with people who had been doing it for like 10 years.
Okay.
And this would have been 10 years ago, around 2010, when God, what is time? 15. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway. But no, and then getting into that class, I was really intimidated because they were really good 2D artists. And then I got in that 3D class, and it turns out I was kind of good at that, and they struggled with it. And so I was kind of like, hey, maybe I'm good at this, and maybe I should try. And so that was my first love, and that's actually what I did for a long time before I got into painting.
And was that I'm sorry to cut you off, was that as self-found, or was that because of some of the professors and some of the teachers there, or what really caught your attention?
I was trying some stuff. I took a photography class too. I was just trying out different like art stuff. I went ahead and got my associates and was very responsible about it and didn't take any fun classes. And then I landed that job, and then so I started taking fun classes like in my free time.
So that job was unrelated to art.
Completely. That was student support services. My degree is in IT. I have commitment issues.
Okay.
That's
I
funny.
don't know what I'm doing.
But I love that you say you have commitment issues, but the truth is you have multifaceted talent that is just unbelievable that it's this new. Like you're saying that you just got into this, but your digital art is incredible. Your stickers are like all over my house, all over all the things that I own.
I appreciate that.
I love this theme element that you have that's like a spooky but almost like a
Creepy cute.
vintage images that are really like a surreal sort of surreal pop kind of classic. Like where did you draw that interest from? Just kind of
Probably pop culture. A lot
Absolutely.
of cartoons.
we're from the same kind of era. I draw inspiration from a lot of the things you do too. This horror element, these like sexy women with the dreamy sort of vibe to them, but just very strong element. Do you feel like that's coming from inside or just images that you saw that you like? Like, where is that?
I like drawing pretty girls. Like,
Hot.
Nice.
like
I wish I was
I
like
have
that.
even before like I was the artist. I've always liked to draw, but it wasn't like anything serious.
Yeah.
But like I used to draw like girls a lot. It's hard for me to draw boys too. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
So it might be a cop out. I don't know. Like at this point.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
they're fun to draw. People like them. So I've got a really good response with them.
I love
so
it.
I've just kept flexing that one. But I don't know. I have lots of different styles. I think I'm going to do an impressionist style for this live painting.
I love it.
I'm kind of bored with the pinups right now.
Yeah.
do
You have a
something
lot of
different.
different elements that are really great. Really great.
You have a pair of paintings in our gallery, and if you're interested, you can tell you where to find that here, but you can find that at graffitipark.org. Do you know which one I'm talking about? And their hair is
That's
like a
that's the hot girl summer.
hot girl summer.
Yeah, they're the pool girls.
The pool girls.
their
They're
hair-
like
their
hair
hair
is
is the
the
pool.
pool, right?
So
Some of my
those were
favorite.
fun.
Those were fun.
I like making silly art, just fun art, mostly.
So what do you mentioned there's art that you create that's like for yourself that you don't share. Is there a particular medium, or is that all those, like you were saying, is that all those different mediums as well? And
I'd say most of that is honestly pins like this, like because I used to do that a lot, like those multi-click pins you get when you're a kid. I'd say most of the art that I kind of do myself and I don't show most people are click pens, because you can do those quick somewhere in the moment.
Yeah. Do you have any like sort of routine to that? Like, is that something you're like, oh, I sit down once a week and do stuff like that? Or is that?
I barely have any routine in my life. Like, I am struggling to do laundry. No, I don't. Like, this, no.
I appreciate the honesty.
No, like, that's one of my goals, I guess, is kind of getting a little bit more serious about this, even more so serious with more routines and stuff. But being open and flexible like that has lent me some opportunities that sometimes having more of a schedule can't give you.
Sure.
So it's got, like, you know, pros and cons and stuff. But no, I paint every day, because, like, I paint at work. I paint, like, it's a struggle for me to sit down and want to do art for myself. Like, that's something I got to, like, work on in 2025.
Nice.
God, that sounds 2025.
Yeah, I think that's, isn't that the year the Terminator comes from? No, that's 2024.
No, darling, that already. Both of those years happened. Like, 1997, I think, was when they became aware. Or something. Anyway, never mind. We'll come back to that.
OG
We're gonna put a pin in
We
that.
have to come back to that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's a great.
Because
one.
I
You know, like Arnold, he came back. He came from 40 years in the future.
Oh, where he
right?
came from. Oh,
He
okay.
came from.
Oh dear
Yeah.
God, that's where we are now. I thought you were just talking about when they became
But
aware.
we're doing
I was
all
like,
right.
we're like 21
We're
years
not
past
fighting
that.
cybernetic organisms, so we're doing
So
okay.
you
Speaking
say.
of,
Yet.
Anyhow,
Anyway,
sorry, nerding out there.
That's okay. This is a space for that.
this is a safe space for your
Absolutely.
nerdiness.
That's fine. That's
okay,
fine.
I want to jump back though. So you're at college. You're taking all of these classes. What was the next step in your artistic journey, or what was the next breakthrough that you found where you're like, oh, this is something that I could do professionally and full time?
Well, we moved across country to California, and I changed careers. I started working at an art studio. It's an independent one. I think they're still there. But it was in San Mateo.
Okay.
And I started just as like a receptionist type situation, more manager. And I had to schedule people to do the classes, and I messed up and didn't schedule someone for a class. And so that was the first class I taught. Now, I'm not really scared of talking in front of people or anything. I'm actually more scared of this because I make weird faces and sounds.
She did inquire on if she had to show her face.
I did.
I said, do you want to come on? She said, do I have to show my face? And for those of you listening, we do record these with the video
Yes.
to eventually show.
So there's a lot of
some
weird
audience.
faces and sounds going on anyway.
But then people started paying me to teach those, to do art, and then I decided I could call myself an artist. And then moved here, and I still do that. I still teach art to adults and children. And that was mainly the left turn that caused that. But Vegas has been good to me. This is a really good art scene out here. There's a lot of welcoming people. Pretty much every aspect of it, every place. There's a lot of open calls for art here. There's not a lot of open calls in every city, you know?
Right.
So there's, I would say the opportunities here just kind of allowed me to continue it. Like after the pandemic when everyone went crazy. And I got to move here when there were no cars on the strip and horses were. That was fun.
I was born around that time. No, go ahead.
We're not going to talk about that here. We're like the same age. Shush.
The horse and buggy. Yeah.
A reminiscing here.
Yeah.
I like it. What challenges have you talked, you made that change. What challenges have you found as you're paving this artist journey for yourself in terms of either maybe creative process, like getting blocks, that sort of thing, or?
Probably like finding a style, or just giving up that you don't have to find a style to like be an artist or push art and do it. And that maybe you just feel like a style on a Tuesday. Like I got really hung up on like trying to figure out what kind of artist I was going to be. And I would beat myself up for not being like a good watercolor artist or like a graffiti artist, like working just in like spray paint, or just purely a ceramicist, and be like jack of all trades, master of none, the whole thing, and just stop kind of beating myself up about it.
Yeah.
It's the main thing to get over, like, and just straight calling myself an artist. It took like a couple of years. to where people were paying me for art, where I was like, I guess I am?
Mhm.
Question mark.
That's
I don't.
amazing.
Nobody comes and tells you when you become an artist. Like, there's no ceremony or anything for that. Because even if you have a fine arts degree, it doesn't mean you're making money with art. Like, I
Right.
know a lot of Uber drivers with fine arts degrees.
Yeah, exactly. Living in this town.
Like, I don't know.
Absolutely. Well, you're showing the
So-
essence of what an artist truly is, and she's understating her talent. The portraits are unbelievable. You have 3 portraits of these women that are just so breathtaking. You can really see the emotion just in the background. You can see the emotion in their eyes. You have acrylic paintings that are incredible, that are very, pop culture related for millennials and all alike, right? And then, of course, you've got these digital artwork that is just amazing that you're doing with stickers and things like that. And your murals that are incredible. And actually at my school that I absolutely love.
I have,
You have
2.
2 yes. She's very proud of. She always reminds me that it's not just one.
You always remember the first one.
One resident artist at the school. What do you feel like you are channeling now the most, and that you want to work on solely, and you're kind of pushing away from so much?
I guess my next real big art goal is I want to show in LA.
Nice.
So that's
Can I come?
That's what we of course you can come.
I'm going.
Yeah, come on. Come to my gallery opening in LA. I just want to say that out loud
Yes.
somewhere. Cuz New York's a little too big and scary, but LA is right over there.
All right,
And
let's
so
do it.
I
You
would
said
like
it. You said it on air.
That's a big thing that I have coming up that I really want to focus on. Some calls for art out there. I've been expanding the Cowgirl series that I had. That's going on a Zapbox, which I'm pretty excited about.
good.
So I'm stoked about that. But those are some things I've got
If
on
I
my
don't
mind.
if I don't know what a Zapbox is, can you walk me through that?
That is through Clark County, where we go out and paint utility boxes. And mine will be on the corner of Lamb and Las Vegas Boulevard. And I'm super stoked. And
awesome.
yes, I'm going to paint a pretty girl on it.
Nice.
That's,
What type of
what's going
medium
on
are
there.
you using?
that's going to be acrylic and spray paint, as per the rules.
Heard that. What is it? You had mentioned you have this goal to have a show out in LA. What does it look like as an artist to set a goal and then to start to work towards achieving that? Is there a certain process that you undertake in order to achieve certain goals being a full-time artist?
Well, you think about it a lot. I'm not kidding. Just a lot. You got to think about it. You got to do the legwork too. You got to set yourself up to be in that position. Probably the biggest thing I could tell to anybody who wants to get out there and start showing art is to go out and meet artists. I don't know. That's the thing to be thinking about is how are you going to get there? You kind of need to go out, find the people that have done the thing you want to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go look at people who are showing in LA. Well, how'd they get there? And just copy that to the best of my ability. While also giving it my own flair, because copying's wrong, kids. For art.
Be yourself.
Be yourself. Be unique like everyone else.
No, I really
stuff,
love
good
that. That's awesome.
But no, I don't know. Nobody's gonna buy your art in your kitchen. You're gonna have to There is social media and stuff, but I gotta tell you, I tried that one. I meet people, dude. Go out and meet people. That's probably the best way that you're gonna find success with art. That's the catalyst, really. I'd say making connections with people.
Which is, I think, for the artist community, sometimes a tough pill to swallow because artists can be such a personal experience, and a lot of artists, at least in my experience, are not necessarily the most outgoing bunch, and they're kind of introspective and what's the word I'm looking for? Introverted. And so I think that's important advice to listen to is go out there and get a part of a community. Graffiti Park is a fun community.
I came to an open call.
Yeah.
Just no,
And can I
I've
ask,
never done
what was
that.
it like for you as an artist, almost a full-time artist, when you came to Vegas and to come to a Graffiti Park event, and what was it like getting involved?
What was the first one?
The first one was Ron Zone.
Ooh.
Nice.
And I was so scared of that spray paint that I did most of it with house paint. And then the only spray paint on that one are the purple lines that are going around the planets and stuff. But no, it was great. I came back. So no, it was
time again.
It was a really great experience. That was one of my bucket list things. A mural. That was on my like artist. That was one of my goals, and so that helped me achieve it. And I don't know if y'all know it, but y'all got me my job, like, because I met Samir out there, and he got me that interview. So
Wow.
like,
That's amazing.
connections,
Absolutely.
meet people.
You heard it here.
I don't know what else to say. Like, you gotta do the thing. And I don't know, separate yourself from your art a little bit. That's really hard to do, but you like absolutely have to if you want to make a living with it.
What do you mean by that?
If you want to make a living with commercial art, like if you want to do commissions for people, if you want to make bespoke art, if you want to go that type of thing, you separate that from like your process art. Like if somebody doesn't like a piece of that, it does not mean they don't like a piece of you.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that took me a long time to get to that point, to feel that. Because like when you're an artist, you're like, here's my soul. Do you like it? You know, like,
Exactly.
so it's try to make that art for yourself. And like, if you want to be successful, like think of this more. I think it helps me to think of myself more as an artisan sometimes.
Sure.
Like, whereas I'm using these skills that this other stuff I do for myself helps me with, but like that is separate and that's for me. Or maybe if I have my personal goals with it, I might feel some feelings about it, but like a mock-up gets rejected. That's not you. That's okay. Like, and you'll get more jobs if you like come back and you keep like resubmitting it. So that's just like, chin up. It's not you. It really isn't. Most people have no idea how long it takes to fix it either.
Yeah.
So keep
Yeah.
that in mind too.
There, any words of advice for artists that are struggling with accepting that or finding even their own lane to find clients to come and seek them out for their specific kind of art?
That's hard. It is hard. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's a lot of hard work and it's luck. Like, I'd be lying if some of it wasn't like a part of it being luck. But if you want to get into shows, you want to do something and be noticed, do something different. Like, that's pretty easy. Like, if you can't find a style and be different, like, okay, for example, like when we were doing, what was that? The NFT convention. And we
Yes.
were live painting. Everyone else had their sideways, and I made I made Tom turn mine with like some bricks so that it would be up and down. Like, if you want to like set yourself apart, just turn it different. You want to, hey kids, you want to get into a show, do a 3D piece, because everybody else will be 2D. Like, that's how I've gotten into half the shows I've gotten into, is because nobody else is submitting sculptural work, because there's like not as many people that want to do that and put in the effort. But like, if you really want to like do that and just get noticed or whatever, be obnoxious. It worked. It worked for me. I don't.
I like that.
No, I love
We were having a similar conversation with Cody, not on air, Cody Wombolt, who was also on Graffiti Park Radio.
And he is not obnoxious.
And he is not obnoxious, no. But we were having a conversation about that idea of separating yourself. And
hard
one
to
of the
do.
things that really stood out to me was he was like, you know, and with Graffiti Park, we're trying to work with up-and-coming artists, and that's why we try to kind of structure these conversations as informative and educational in nature for those listeners. And one of the things he said, and I want to come back to that, is it's some artists need to be told no. Like, no, that's not going to work. Nope, that render doesn't look good. And to your point, I think there's no real way to, Dan asked you the question, like, what advice do you have? Like, there's no real way, there's no advice to take. It's, you have to get reps in being told no.
Yes,
and being,
you
and,
do.
Yeah.
You
And-
just have to like start framing those rejection letters. Like, oh, like just don't.
Yeah.
Just
And-
keep going. Like,
And,
I don't know. Make
and-
that your process art.
and like a lot of times we act as like this, like insulation between an artist and a client. And Dan and I get told no a lot. Like, no,
Yes.
that's not going to work,
know.
you know? And we're people, so we'll go to the artist like, hey, how about we tweak it a little bit? But that's not how the client told us.
Yeah.
And that's not personal.
I
And
know.
like,
I know.
and so I think that's a very often recurring theme in these conversations that we have purposely having with full-time artists and artists that make a living doing those different things. So that's why I'm honing in on that, because
Yeah.
I think that's, if you can learn that sooner, that will set you apart.
Well, not only that, but like if you
It will.
start with no, you can get to the yes so much
Yes.
faster.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a client where
Seriously.
if you give them something and they're like, no, I hate it. And you're like, okay, well, what don't you like about it? And then they point out certain and you're like,
Yes.
okay, well,
And
what
then
elements can we take or pull out or switch in to get to where they feels to where it feels right, to where it feels well. And so I think for artists it's important to hear, like, again, that no, don't attach it to yourself, but use it as a propeller forward to getting to the finish
Yeah.
line.
Yes, like it ain't you, baby. It's not. It's never, and it rarely is. And I've had to be on the other side of those like decisions with art and stuff too. And it's usually or be the one to tell people no and stuff with it, or to move stuff around. And I'll tell you guys some little pro tips. Just like, this is different. This is how it's different than what we envisioned, or like, I mean,
Yes.
but anybody even that's been doing it for a hot minute understands what those
Exactly.
words are.
Exactly.
But it's just do your own art for you. If you want to make a living with it, you got to detach yourself from it. You have to, or you're going to like have some problems.
Right.
Gonna hurt.
The common example I use is like, you're not Picasso. Like, they're not looking for like your and it didn't
Yet.
take
No.
it yet.
Yet.
They're
Yes,
not looking
right,
for
no.
your style. They're looking for what
And again,
they're
that's the thing, the hang up with style. Like,
Right,
God,
yeah.
I see so many
I loved how you
artists
said
just
that. Yeah,
get
you're
so
like-
hung up on like, I've got to have my own style, and I've got to like, no, like just like do some stuff, throw a bunch of things at the wall until like something sticks. Try
Yeah.
different classes, try different mediums. Like, you might be like missing like your niche, like your thing, because you're like, I've got to be the best watercolor artist, like I was thinking, or something dumb.
Well, we're coming towards the end here. I know you mentioned some goals for 2025. What exciting projects, things do you have coming up?
Well,
for this
mainly
year,
that's
next year?
that box. Excited about that. I do have another workshop coming up with Clark County. Those installations will be, you can check those out. Those will be at a few rec centers. The big one will be at Whitney, and that one will be in February. And that one's cool because that'll have everybody who's in that whole group. It'll be like a little group show of all the youth art
Cool.
stuff going on.
Is that Whitney Ranch?
I think so. I'm bad with directions.
Okay.
I'm like
All right.
98% sure. But
I think that's that.
yeah, that's that. But no, doing art every day.
Doing art every
Give
day.
me some jobs. Call me. You tell me what's coming up in my finish.
I like that.
You tell me.
If you
I'm available.
if you feel so inclined, you can give her a call there.
Yeah.
And if someone is looking to give you a call or looking to learn more about you, where can they find you at?
You can find me at Bagecka. That's Bagecka on Instagram, or bagecka.com. And again, that's how a chicken says my name. Bok Bagecka. Just so you remember. Bagecka?
All right. Well, that was tight. Any co-hosts? How
Where
you
can
guys
they
doing?
find us at?
I know where to find
I don't
you.
know, Dan. Where
I
can they
know where
find
to
us
find
at?
you.
You can find us at graffitipark.org or on Instagram, graffitipark_LV, all around town. Catch us out.
Catch it.
Yeah.
Check us out. Catch us there.
Catch
You have a
something.
fine Sunday, Wednesday evening, whatever day you're listening to this. If you're on a
dance,
bike
ladies and
ride, if
gentlemen.
you're on a walk, I hope that our banter has made your day more beautiful.
Do you want to end it with a tongue twister?
Get out there and create.
Yes,
I think
we're
we
gonna
have.
do
I
that.
think I have
do you,
one more
do you
minute.
want? Do you just
I'm
want to do
scared.
that and get
The
it out?
Human
Yes.
Torch
Oh,
was
well-
denied a bank loan.
All right.
However, he also was an artist, so he used it to progress his career forward.
11 benevolent elephants.
Thank you for
Have a
listening to
great night.
Graffiti Park Radio. Have a
Glad you
great
got
week.
that in there.
Guys.
buddy.
Have a
That's
good
nice.